It's hard living. Life is hard. When you are 49 years old, been working on a job for 17 years, and they come in and tell you you're finished and give you 1 week severance pay, and you got to start all over again. It's hard when you're married and raising children, and your children are crawling, and your husband dies unexpectedly. It's hard handling just the tragedies of life. It's hard when you're working on something and you put everything you have in it, and it doesn't work out. You lose your money and other people's money. It's hard. It was rough when I lost my job, and I could not find a job. It was humiliating and embarrassing, borrowing money, and then I couldn't pay the money back when I told them I would. That's rough. How people look at you, how they respond to you. It's very hard. It's humiliating. Here's what I discovered that happens to you in life, that you will go through things, and while you're going through them, you can't understand why it's happening to you. You do what it is you're supposed to. You're supposed to build something. You're supposed to create something. I don't know how to do it. Learn. Do whatever is required. Just go out there. It's possible you can get what you want. It's necessary. If you want it, you got to go into action. You got to be willing to experiment. You got to be willing to fail and to succeed. You got to be willing to form and to develop new relationships. It's you, it's on you. You got to make that happen. Nobody's going to bring it to you on a silver platter and say, here's your dream manifested. You go through the challenges of life, and you look at it and embrace whatever comes to you. Don't run from it. Step toward it. Don't try and duck it like most people do. See, most people want it easy. See, easy come, easy what? Easy go. See, but when you go at what you're going to deal with, and you deal with the difficulties of it, when you handle those hard things close at hand, making those hard decisions right now that you don't want to make, the people who go after this stuff, what makes it worth it? It's got to be your passion. You got to love it, ladies and gentlemen. You got to love it. It's got to be what you are supposed to do. Learning those things that you don't like to do, but you know that in order for you to get where you want to go, this is one of the hoops that you have to flip through. And I'm saying to you, whatever you got to do, do it, because if you don't, life is going to whoop you until you surrender. You must have faith. You've got to believe in yourself. You've got to believe in your abilities. You've got to believe in your service, your company, your ideas. Unquestionably, you've got to have faith, and that faith gives you patience. That is not going to happen as quickly as you want it to happen. A lot of things are going to happen that will catch you off guard. And so therefore you've got to deal with and handle it as it comes. And not only that, but that faith and patience drives you into action. You've got to keep moving and keep plugging away. The harder the battle, the sweeter the victory. See, when it's hard and there's a struggle, see, what you become in the process is more important than the dream. That's far more important. The kind of person you become, the character that you build, the courage that you develop, the faith that you're manifesting. People know that you know what life is, that you have embraced life. You knew it was hard, but you did it hard. It's hard, yes, it's hard. It's difficult, yes, right, and it's worth it. You've got to believe in yourself. You've got to believe in your abilities. You've got to believe in your service, your company, your ideas. Unquestionably, you must have faith. It's hard. Yes, it's hard. It's difficult. Yes, right. And it's worth it.
Write down in your notes, massive action is the cure-all. Massive action is the cure-all. If you're having a difficult time with something, your relationship isn't where you want it to be, your finances are not where you want to be, your body's not where you want to be, your business is not where you want to be, you need to take massive action. And if that doesn't work, try something else. Keep going with massive action and you will find the way, because it will give you momentum.
I need you to know that in order for you to get to that next level, you got to change your thinking, like for real. You don't need no money. You don't need no stuff. The one thing you need to do to go where you've never gone before, to have what you've never had before, is to change the way you think.
If you don't have a big emotional reason why you really want to achieve something, the truth is you simply will not have the necessary, deeper reasons that your brain requires to keep you motivated and help you overcome when the doubts, the fears, and the anxieties set in. And we know that whenever we're looking to achieve goals that we haven't yet achieved, we have to pay something that scientists call is the switch cost.
So whatever it is that you're trying to achieve in life, the critical component is getting things done, and getting things done in a systematic way. Building the character that's associated with getting things done in a systematic way requires that you become disciplined.
Focus on one thing, make it your priority, and stick with it no matter what. When something is for you, this is how I knew it was for me. When something's for you, there's a feeling that is deep down inside of you that will not allow you to let it go. It will keep you going when you can't even keep yourself going.
When you start believing that your life doesn't match your blueprint and you have no control to change it, you're helpless, that's when people suffer. And so this week, for your breakthrough, it's a chance for you to start to take a look at your blueprint anywhere you're really having pain. You've even made a decision, but a decision is the first step. Decision is like a war. I gotta do this or that. All right, I'm gonna make myself do this. But commitment is when you now, after you've decided, you commit to do this for the long term. Whether it's hard or easy, doesn't matter. You're doing this. It takes it from this moment and it carries it in the future even when things are difficult. And the third state is resolve. Resolve means it's done.
The great thing about it is, though, every morning you wake up, you have a choice on which voice to listen to. But I want you to think about a completely different thing right now. Let's just say you do nothing. Let's just say you buy into your fears. Let's just say you buy into every single thing you're worried about. Let's just say you don't make any decisions to go after your dreams. Fast forward 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 40 years from now. Let's just say your funeral's around the corner. You have 50 people there, 100 people there, maybe 200 people show up. These are your friends, family, and people that love you. So you'll be loved for one generation, remembered for 2 generations, and forgotten after that. Is that truly the life you want to live? Is that really what you want to do? I don't know if that's the life you really want to live. You see, what I've noticed is no matter what you ever do, you'll have a lot of lonely times. You can lie to your family, you can lie to your friends, you can fool the world into realizing that why you didn't win was because of some challenge that you had to face. But there's one person you can never lie to, and that is the man in the mirror. You can never lie to the man in the mirror, never. For the rest of your life, the man in the mirror is going to look back at you and say, you did not choose to go after your dreams. And you have to be okay with that. Now, what I would like to encourage you to do is to make the right choice. I encourage you to face your fears and pursue your dreams. go pursue the dreams that matter the most to you. You only got one shot at this thing here. And if it works out, man, it's going to feel so good for you. And if it doesn't, at least you had the courage to make that decision. I hope you make the right choice. I trust you will.
I promise you, you become a machine. You don't think about whether you're going to write in your journal or not. You do it because you already made that commitment. Every single day, no matter what, you write in your freaking journal every single day. You don't think about it. When you have built a habit, it's ingrained in your nervous system in such a way that the brain doesn't even have to consider whether or not it'll get done. It just gets done because you committed. You commit once to the thing that you're going to do, and then you do it every single day. That everyday method is one of the most powerful methods for reconstructing your entire life.
So what we have is this endless possibility, but you have to persevere. It's as if the universe tests our commitment. So if you're willing to decide what you want, believe it's possible, consciously envision the future, feel the feelings of what it would feel like if you had achieved this goal, you can have anything, and then you take action, both obvious actions and inspired actions. You can do anything.
Now is the time to start again. That's right, again. It's like I got to start over and over. I got to continue every day, like you do, to improve yourself, improve your skills, improve your game. Every day, start over. Now is not the time to start or back up or retreat or get lost in all the problems. Your security, your family's security, your future is left in your hands. Your destiny is yours, not someone else's. Nobody else can do this for you. Nobody else can do it for me. It's your job and my time. Now's the time to start. Now's the time to start again.
Now you get to work by doing it every single day.
It's hard. Easy is not an option. It's hard living. Life is hard. See, it's hard when you're 49 years old, been working on a job for 17 years, and they come in and tell you you're finished and give you 1 week severance pay. And you got to start all over again. It's hard when you're married and raising children and your children are crawling and your husband dies unexpectedly. It's hard handling just the tragedies of life. It's hard when you're working on something and you put everything you have in it and it doesn't work. It's hard.
I realized that information changes situations. And so I'd rather buy a book than buy a house. Because if I buy a book, I can buy several homes. But if I buy a home and I don't have the right information, guys, you could burn my house down and it wouldn't bother me. Well, how do I know? Because we have the blueprints and they can rebuild it. You can take all my money out the bank. But if you take the knowledge out of my head and take the experiences that I've had, I'm broke, I'm nothing.
The disappointment drives you to find something more important inside of you. Or not getting it makes you look for another aspect of your life, a spiritual aspect, a family aspect, a physical aspect. If you can just trust that life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you, then you can find in any situation a benefit that can take your life to the next level.
That's the number one thing you have to do, is to work on yourself and to fill yourself up and keep your cup full. Keep yourself full.
You got to make your decisions accountable. To who? To your actions. So first side, boom, decision. Second side, I want you to write down every single action it's going to take to make that decision a reality. You hear me?
every one of us in our life is going to face situations where it feels like we have total trauma, something that's been taken from us. The real question is, what are you going to do with it?
That you can forget about failing that test. You can forget about being a disappointment to your mom, a disappointment to your dad. The fact that you didn't finish school, the fact that you got a divorce, the fact that for real, you feel like a failure. So you've been trying to make the rest of your life the best of your life, but you've been holding on to being a failure too. Forget about your past and make the rest of your life the best of your life.
Necessary to start talking to people and seeking and asking for what I wanted and leveraging relationships and trying to find out, how do the people do it that went ahead of me? How do they do it? And then what is it I need to do? How is it I need to train myself, to develop myself? What's the resources that will be required in order to make it happen?
We're in hell right now, believe me. And we can stay here, get the shit kicked out of us, or we can fight our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell, 1 inch at a time.
Listen to me, your life will never be the same again. All the failures, all the mistakes, all the hurt, it's over. Hear what I'm telling you, it's over. Poverty is over. Lack is over. Like, you're about to live like next level, abundance. You're about to start doing things and you're going to start seeing success.
You have a choice to either give up or keep going. Give up or get up. When you fail, try again and again and again.
The people of the world never get taught how to keep their dreams alive. But there is a formula for turning a dream into a reality.
Mediocrity is very common. It means being average. Average people are average. Mediocrity is for losers. The reason mediocrity is for losers is, given the choice of 5 places to eat lunch, are you going to pick the mediocre one? Given the choice of 5 people to hire, are you going to pick the mediocre one? In fact, in our Google-fueled world where you have a choice of 1 million things for every topic, who picks average? Who picks mediocre? Nobody. So as a salesperson, you have a big problem because there's all this pressure on you to be average, all this pressure to have a bigger kit bag, selling more items, all this pressure to call on more and more people, offering them more and more, to fit in, to wear the same clothes as every other salesperson, to show up the same way as every other salesperson, make the same pitch, and be cheaper.
And I can't explain it, but you better feel me. Winners win and losers lose.
Nobody wins it cheaper except for maybe Walmart. That the big win is when you refuse to settle for average or mediocre. And you say, I'm going to give up 90% of what I could do.
And if you create a culture of losing, if you keep being a victim, if you keep letting losing happen to you, if you keep letting people do you and treat you any kind of way, it's going to become a culture.
The only way to win is to be talked about, because you can't advertise your way, you can't spam your way, you can't call your way into a presence. You get there by people talk about you.
You always want to blame other people. You want to hold other people to the fire, but you're not holding yourself to the fire. You just said you're giving 50%. You owe you an explanation.
But no one talks about, oh, I know this really average carpeting salesman. Never, right? What they talk about is the barefoot carpeting salesman who doesn't wear shoes, and here's why, and let me tell you about what happened when I bought something, blah, blah, and that spreads the word. Well, what you do for a living if you're a salesperson is not take orders, because they can outsource that, or put it on the web. What you do as a salesperson is not bother people into buying from you, because that's not a scalable strategy. What you do as a salesperson is you communicate emotion.
There is no excuse for not living up to your fullest potential. No excuse.
And the only people who are going to listen to you are the people who were pre-sold on you because someone told them about what you do and how you do it.
We want people to make guarantees to us, but we're not willing to make guarantees to ourselves.
At what point in your life did you make a decision that mediocrity is not for you?
I started my blog about 5 years ago. If you type Seth into Google, you'll find it. And along the way, people have said, why don't you have Twitter? Why don't you have video? Why don't you have a podcast? Why don't you have comments? Why don't you have this? Why don't you have that? And there's lots of things I could have done. And if I had done those things, I wouldn't have had the blog I have today.
The reason why I'm not successful is because of my boss. Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror and said, I'm not getting up on time? You need to look at yourself in the mirror and say, why are you only giving 50%? What's wrong with you?
What I'm really focused on is what kind of email do I get? Do I get email from people who say, yeah, I look at your blog every once in a while? Or do I get email from people who say, I've been reading it for 6 weeks and look what I changed in my life. Thank you for inspiring me to do that. And that's what gets me out of bed to do it every day.
You need to tell you no more TV, no more snacks, no more desserts, no, we working out now. No more alcohol, not right now. No, I can't handle it right now. You need to tell you that you owe you something.
The goal is to have a bunch of good runs before the sun sets. And so what great salespeople do is not get through one dip and say, I'm done, I'm going to the beach. They look for the next dip because that's all life is a series of dips. That's why we're here.
You've got to believe in yourself. You've got to believe in your abilities. You've got to believe in your service, your company, your ideas. Unquestionably, you must have faith. It's hard. Yes, it's hard. It's difficult. Yes, right. And it's worth it.